Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Let's all come off mute and say hello. So,
Hello.
hey,
Hello.
Hi.
thank you. All right. Let me pull up my slides here. This is going to be an interactive presentation. So, if you want to come on camera, feel free. And I will be asking folks to participate. All right. Let's just take a deep breath together. I think Zoe just dropped a lot of good updates on that quote, leading us. So this is gonna ground ourselves in some deep breaths and yeah, just arrive here as we prepare to talk about vocal hygiene and song leading. Zoe, can you see my slides? Okay. Wonderful. All right. Show of hands if you've been to an action that I've led before. Perhaps you probably definitely know if I've been there. Okay, cool. Leo, Zoe, lots of new faces. Fantastic. I didn't really have a little background on me. I never really had formal training in this kind of stuff. I just always had a loud voice. Actually got penalized for it a lot when I was younger. Felt like I had to fit this mold of like a quiet Asian girl who needed to just be, yeah, fit this mold and be dainty and small, and that is just not who I am. I am loud, I am proud, I am active, I am energetic, and I started going to protests by myself. I had my little sign, had my little megaphone, and was showing up and unintentionally leading. People were following me, and I think at the my first march, people like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Thank you." I was like, "Why are you thanking me?" And they were like, "Thank you for just leading with your voice. I love your energy. Like, thank you for showing up." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, people are recognizing this. This is something I used to get in trouble for, and now it's a skill and a strength, and what I want to lend to this movement. So what I'm here to do today is to share with you how you can lend your voice for this movement and not lose your voice, because we want to make sure in the same energy of like us showing up, we don't burn out. Our voices don't physically burn out and our emotions don't physically burn out, because that is what will let the oil and gas industries win, corporations win, billionaires win, and we need to rise above that. With that in mind, let's just keep going. Here we go. So what I'm going to talk about today is a brief abbreviated version of an hour-long training, honestly 2-hour training with role playing that I do. So Zoe, I think if there's some interest from folks in this group that want to do like a longer training, I teach people on how to do chant leading as well as song leading. So that's like an alternative 201 to this brief intro here. But we're going to talk about how to breathe, how to align your body, preventing vocal damage because we don't want that. Also, yeah, vocal burnout basically, and some other tips to wrap it all up. So you have this like punch list of things, and then just some tips to lead a song, also a chant if you're inclined to do that. So first is posture. If you're sitting, this is also related. If how to stand, we want to think about our voices as an extension of ourselves. It is an instrument. So I invite you all to find a comfortable stance. So if you're sitting, we want to have our back straight, our feet on the ground, our shoulders back, relax. And let's just all take some neck rolls here, just like loosen it up. I've been at a computer all day. Roll those shoulders here. Let's get loose as we are going to share. So, when you're leading these on the streets, I encourage people to just be comfortable with their bodies, get in touch, lead a little bit of stretch, loosen it up. And then if you're seated for today, we're going to have good posture upright. Okay. Okay, so second thing is we're going to now that we've are properly aligned, we're going to talk about how to breathe. So let's all take a deep breath. We're going to put one hand on our chest and the other hand on our bellies. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Here we go. Now, raise your hand if you felt your chest move instead of your belly. Okay, well, if you guys didn't already, if you're breathing through your belly, you're already one step ahead. So the exercise here is coming into mind that when we typically breathe without being mindful of where our breath comes from, it usually comes from our chest. We're chest breathing, and when we chant, we're usually coming from the throat here. Okay. What I want you guys to embody is when we're going to take deep breaths again, 3 together, but I want you to breathe deeply from your belly or your diaphragm. So let's try filling in your lungs, filling in your belly with 3 deep breaths and being mindful of where your hands are positioned and fill your belly. Here we go. In and out. In. Try to fill it even bigger than the last one. Out. One more. Here we go. In and out. So, as you are breathing, we want to make sure that we're belly breathing. And that's what's going to support. If you're a singer or you're blasting karaoke, this is how you're going to sustain yourself. And here on the slide, which I'll send out later and in the recording, there's tips on how you can strengthen your breath. We won't go into that too much, but I just wanted to make sure are mindful that when you fill your bellies, you're breathing from your diaphragm and not from your chest. So the next step here is how to prevent vocal damage. So typically when people are chanting, they're chanting, like I said, from the throat, and it's a typically high register, right? They're saying like, no more fossil fuels, and so it's screaming. So what you want to try to do is um you want to have like my tip is I typically speak in a deeper register than I would normally, and that's how I know I'm speaking in my diaphragm. I'm projecting instead of yelling. And so for chanting, try going tips are deeper register. So we can I have let's see who's on the screen here. Can I have Adrian? Can you read the first quote for me, please?
Losing your voice is a vocal injury, like spraining your ankle. Would you willingly sprain your ankle regularly?
Thank you.
Um,
Deborah, how about the next paragraph for me, please?
If not, then losing our voice is not something that we should normalize. Luckily, there are ways to protect our voice and prepare for actions that will prevent vocal damage.
Thank you. So like I said, some people, I used to feel like super proud of like, yeah, I went so hard at this action yesterday. I lost my voice. Like it was intense. And that is not something we want to promote. We want to make sure that again, like the metaphor, we want to sustain our energy and our voice to prevent burnout. And so I want to make sure that we are taking care of our voices. That means also um not chanting all 2 hours. Right? It's taking breaks. It's if you're a chant lead, you utilize a lot of the call and response or you tap someone else to help you. um so that's what I was saying earlier about projecting. Jay, can you read what yelling is?
Yes. Yelling puts pressure in the throat in order to create loud sound, which damages the voice in both the long and short term.
Thank you. Leah, how about what is projecting?
Projecting harnesses the power of deep belly diaphragmatic breath to support and amplify sound without straining throat muscles.
Thank you. Okay, so let's do this exercise together. Now that we know the difference between belly breathing and chest breathing, we're gonna take a deep breath and we're gonna release all that air in a ha. And I want you to feel where that is coming from, and you're physically pushing it from your belly. So we're gonna do our hands on chest, hands on belly, and let's try it one time, and then we'll try again in a different way. So here we go. In and out. Ha. Nice. Now let's try it one more time, but I want you to do it in a lower register to really feel it in your diaphragm. Here we go. In and out. Ha! Did anyone feel a difference? I'm loving, yes, Zoe, where did you feel it? Tell me what your feelings.
Felt it lower than, like, it was up here before, and then it was lower on the second
Yeah,
one.
great, great. Yes, exactly. So the exercise here, again, how I'm leading this is if you are signed up to be a chant lead, you can do this as a practice, or if you have a little pod that you're going with to practice chanting, this is a huge way for you to warm up your voices, just like it is an instrument. Like just like you wouldn't sprint a 5K right away, you do a little stretching, a little to warm up. We want to do use our voices. So, like I was saying with warm-ups, I will share my slide deck in to Zoe, and Zoe can send it out. And in the notes, there's a bunch of different warm-ups that you can follow. But like I said, you pretend you're like running a marathon. You wouldn't just go in it without any warm-ups. You do a little bit of stretching, you do a little like light work, maybe do a lap or two, 5K, and then you do your marathon. So you want to make sure you're building it up so we don't um lose our voices. So, yeah, another way is bring noisemakers. Sometimes your voice is not the only way you need to make noise and chants. You can clap your hands, you can even hum, you can even bring drums or cowbells, a whistle, anything you need to make noise. And that is one way for you to protect your voice. Another big thing is amplification. Use the tools that you have so you don't lose your voice, you're not yelling. And again, the whole ultimate, like if I was to leave you with one thing here is your voice is precious. We need every single person to keep fighting and we cannot burn out. So please protect your voice, take breaks when needed, use a speaker, use a megaphone. Like I used to be really proud of like, oh, do you need my microphone? You can hear me just fine in the back, right? And just project. And now I'm like, I don't need to do that. What am I trying to prove to someone? I use a microphone and I can reach more people, I can protect my voice, and it's not a matter of pride or a matter of I can. It's a tool that I'm going to use and it's going to help me. So definitely use a megaphone or a microphone wherever you can. And also it's a language justice thing. A lot of people, especially in our groups, are older, hard of hearing, and they require amplification. So if you have a speaker who's stubborn and doesn't want to use it, I like to say like, hey, there are people who are hard of hearing and would really benefit of you using this microphone. Could you please use it? And people typically are like, yeah, I'll do it. So that's a little tip, not even just you as a chant lead or, if you're a speaker, I encourage you to use a microphone, even if you're just speaking into it. So use the tools. They're there for you for a reason. Okay, after all this stuff and you didn't listen to me and you're like, whatever, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna give it my all, I'm gonna lose my voice. You please, please, please rest. Just like don't talk after a few days. Make sure you're taking care of your throat, drinking lots of water, hot during the action. After tea, I packed some cough drops for myself as well as like a bunch of if you're planning action, put cough drops in your first aid kit or in the same wagon with the water and snacks. Like have cough drops for people. I think that's super helpful. And if you're carrying the speakers, earplugs, we want to make sure that we're protected, not just our voices, but our ears too, our whole bodies. We need to take care of ourselves, y'all. And yeah, just overall care and wellness. Okay, I'm approaching my end here, but I want to leave you with a list of do's and don'ts. So let's all run this together. Miranda, are you there? Do you want to read the first do and don't?
Okay. Do power stance and drink lots of water. Don't lock your knees or hold onto tightness.
Okay, thank you. I might be picking on some people off camera, so let's see if Sonia, are you there? You want to do the second one?
Do deep belly diaphragm breath and project from the belly. Don't chest breathe.
Awesome. All right, what about Allie for number 3?
Do bring amplification for outdoor demonstrations like a megaphone. Don't scream or push from your throat.
Thank you. What about Justin for number 4?
What's number 4? The do or
Both. The physical warm-ups.
do physical warm-ups and ideally vocal warm-ups before singing. Don't start songs with a very high or low pitch.
Thank you. And last but not least, what about Mona? Can you read number 5? Going once. Okay, how about Barbara? You there? Strike 3. Okay, Jay, you came back on screen. How about you, Jay?
Sure, if I can get to mute. Do rest your voice if you feel strained. Don't whisper. It's better to stop speaking than to whisper.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, y'all. I hope this is just like a quick punch list of how to take care of your voice. These apply to everybody, no matter if you're on the mic or if you are a supporting, like in the crowd chanting. We want to take care of ourselves, take care of our bodies. And yeah, overall, I'll just close with just some simple song leading tips or chant leading tips. Both are applicable, but basically, wherever you can, name context, try to give clear direction as like, I'm going to say it once, then you guys repeat it, or vice versa. And using your hands is a great way. Like, now your turn, me, now you. Even when I'm signaling, I need help, Zoe, can we go back and forth, you know? And so like, I'm going to say the first line, you guys say the next line. And yeah, I think overall, we're not going to do some singing today, but I just want to close that, yeah, like I said, this is an important way for us to continue to sustain ourselves, create the momentum. Our voices are powerful. And even if you feel shy, know that you're not going to be signaled out as one voice alone. We stand as many voices. And whenever one person drops, you're not like the whole song or the whole chant is not going to stop, because we all join as one together, and we can sustain one note for very long if we all take our breaks, if we all keep going. So with that, Zoe, I feel like I should have had a chant in my back pocket, and now I'm like on the spot and I can't think of one. So if I can have them, let's pause for questions, and then I'm gonna find a chant and we'll close with a chant. How about that? Questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question. Do you know of any protests that's gonna happen soon where we can use our voice?
It's a great question, Zoe and Leah. You missed one last week on Wednesday. I missed it, but Zoe?
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but there's one on Wednesday. Right, Leah?
Yes, tomorrow morning, bright and early. If you want to come back to Wells Fargo and sing and chant
Speak
with
with
a
your
loud
diaphragm.
voice and make a lot of noise, you can come out tomorrow morning and practice your voice. We'll go into details a little later.
Yeah, and we'll share some other events coming up too. But I would also add that like any action is really benefited by like songs and chants and people that are down to like maintain. And it's always I feel like it's better to be like quieter and have the endurance than to like blow out your voice in like a minute and then be like, have to be quiet for the rest of the time. So
Yeah. And like, even if you're not trained, if you're like, I know this one chant and I really want to do it right now, go up to the person with the microphone and be like, can I lead a chant? And I bet you 100 times they're going to be like, yes, please take the mic from me. I need a break. And that's when we can sneak away and get our water and drink, And so if I encourage everybody to step up, share, because together we are unstoppable. A better world is possible. So I'm going to say we are unstoppable, and y'all are going to say a better world is possible. unmute, and we're gonna try this together. Here we go. We are unstoppable.
A better
world is
is
possible.
One more time. We are unstoppable.
A
better world is
possible.
Thank you all for having me. I'm gonna drop the little links to the slide in the chat. And if you're interested in a longer, like more hands-on chant training, song training, I do offer those, and we definitely need more fresh energy to lead this because I can't be at every action, y'all. I need some help. So if you want to join, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for having me. See you guys next time.